Yo guys, what's going on, and welcome to a brand new Star Wars movies video. In today's video we're going to be counting up the Star Wars The Force Awakens Easter eggs, so beware, these might actually contain spoilers. So after what felt like years of waiting, the time has finally come for Star Wars Episode 7 The Force Awakens. And while there are several massive reveals that fans will be discussing for the coming weeks and months, and even more unanswered questions to occupy the minds of every moviegoer, there's one thing that can't be overlooked: the Easter eggs, hidden jokes and insider references to the original Star Wars saga. So we're going to kick it off today with a familiar arc. Casual fans of the series may think that it was George Lucas who first dreamed up the space opera's world and the architecture in it, but much of the credit lies with concept painter Ralph McQuarrie. McQuarrie produced far too much art to ever be adapted as a whole, but when it came time to inject something new into Episode 7, the team returned to those original designs. The arc on screen was originally planned to be part of Jabba's palace on Tatooine. Obviously, the black-robed figure is shown to be Luke in Return of the Jedi. Jabba's finished palace was a bit less sophisticated, but the arc now appears on Jakku, clearly visible against the horizon as Rey, Daisy Ridley, brings her salvaged goods into the settlement. Next we have a rebel helmet. Rey is quite literally living in the aftermath of the Empire's war with the rebellion, as her home of Jakku shows not just crashed Star Destroyers being stripped for parts, but actually making her home inside of a fallen AT-AT Walker. When the Walker is first revealed, Rey entertains herself by watching the distant ships heading to the stars and donning an antique helmet, resembling those worn by rebel pilots during the original trilogy. It's impossible to say who that particular helmet belonged to, but its former owner may not be the point. According to the alien writing on the helmet itself, the markings literally translate to Rey, another form of spelling her own name, as this one's spelled R-H-A-E. Fans can deduce what they will from that, but if the helmet was marked for her in particular before her unknown family left her behind, then its history in the Star Wars universe could hold the answers to her true identity. Next we have Simon Pegg's cameo. He may be more focused on the upcoming Star Trek Beyond at the moment, but how could Simon Pegg turn down a cameo role from his former Mission Impossible director? Even if the role in question has Pegg concealed beneath a massive alien head, when the first set of photos of Pegg appeared, it didn't take long to narrow down the list of possible roles, considering the character's size and presence on Jakku. The cameo is actually a substantial role in Rey's overall story, with Pegg playing Unkar Plutt, the fat, ugly curmudgeon to whom she turns in her daily scavenged goods in exchange for food. Captain Phantasm. Stormtroopers of the Galactic Empire never really enjoyed a single leader or face to admire in the original series, but with Episode 7, that comes in the form of Captain Phasma. The towering trooper is something to behold, mainly due to the polished chrome armour she sports in her few scenes in the story. Even though Christie's face isn't seen, her name comes with an origin story worth hearing. Apparently the idea of a chrome trooper standing at the side of Kylo Ren and General Hux came to Abrams even before a proper name did. It was only when he saw the first designs of the armour that he noticed the resemblance, literally and figuratively, between the soldier and the floating metallic spheres of death from the horror movie Phantasm. Phantasm became Phasma, and the rest is history. FN2187. Before the movie was released, Star Wars fans knew John Boyega's character as simply Finn, but the finished movie gives a surprising explanation for the name. Under the First Order, soldiers and stormtroopers are no longer recruited or cloned, but kidnapped as children from their families. As a result, the life of a stormtrooper seems to be the only one Finn has known, and FN2187, the only name he's ever been given. It's poor Dameron who decides that's no name at all and combines the two letters to form the Finn nickname, but the numbers should catch the attention of any fan from the original Star Wars. 2187 was the cell number in which Leia was being held aboard the Death Star when Luke and Han come to rescue her. As an added twist, that use of the number was actually a nod to the Canadian short film by Arthur Lipset that he first encountered in film school. Luke's combat remote. Luke Skywalker would one day become the last hope of the Jedi, but he started small, trying to deflect blaster shots from a floating combat remote on board the Millennium Falcon. He eventually got the hang of it, slapping away shots without even using his eyes, taking a first step into a larger world. Han Solo wasn't a fan of that idea, but he clearly thought that the remote was worth keeping around. After Finn and Rey have boarded the Falcon and are rummaging through its contents, Finn can be seen pulling the remote from a bag of supplies, giving it a confused look and tossing it aside. It doesn't spend much time on screen, but for those who remember the scene from A New Hope, the memory should be triggered immediately. The Millennium Falcon chest. Once they're done rummaging around and actually get to talking about their mission at hand with Han Solo, another smaller nod to the original movies arrives. The game of holo chess, springing to life, should probably be caught by even casual fans, since the first film showed Chewbacca taken in a game with C-3PO and R2-D2, before the latter learned that in the game, like all others, it's possibly best to let the Wookiee win. As an added bonus, the brief animation that begins when Finn triggers the game shows the creature who was originally thrown to the ground and defeated turning the table, taking a club to the head of his former tormentor so many years earlier. Ben Solo. It's the beginning of The Force Awakens' most shocking storyline, when the evil Kylo Ren is revealed to actually be the son of Han Solo and Leia Organa, having been corrupted and drawn to a twisted idea of finishing the mission started by his grandfather, Anakin Skywalker. It is only later when Han confronts him aboard the Starkiller base that he calls him by his birth name, Ben. Aside from being a nod to old Ben Kenobi, the name taken by Obi-Wan during his time spent in exile on Tatooine, the name may also be a direct bow to the expanded universe novels. In the EU, it was Luke who named his son after Ben, and strangely enough, served as an apprentice to Han and Leia's son, before he turned to the dark side. Banner spottings. While Han, Finn, Rey and BB-8 seek out Maz in her temple-like cantina, it's hard to miss the massive array of colourful banners hanging over the entryway, but picking out details from within them isn't so easy. On closer inspection, banners bear the mark of Zero the Hutt's tattoos and characters from Episode 1's pod race, but most interesting is the Mythosaur skull, also known as the symbol of the saga's most notorious bounty hunter, Boba Fett. It's hard to know if any real significance should be put to the banners just yet, but with a Boba Fett solo movie on the way, any evidence is worth studying. Luke's lightsaber recovered. When Rey is drawn into the basement of Maz's cantina, it's an old wooden box that grabs her attention, or more specifically, the lightsaber contained within it. When a single touch sends Rey into a spell, seeing visions of Imperial structures, the Knights of Ren, and even Luke Skywalker giving R2-D2 a final command, fans knew this was no ordinary lightsaber, a fact Maz soon confirms for herself. The lightsaber is that of Luke Skywalker, or perhaps more accurately, the lightsaber of Anakin Skywalker, which was taken by Obi-Wan Kenobi upon the fall of his former Padawan. The saber would remain with Kenobi for years until he delivered it to Anakin's son in A New Hope. But the lightsaber was thought lost when Luke's hand was sliced off by Darth Vader in The Empire Strikes Back, sending it into the bowels of Cloud City. Is it the residue of Luke, or Anakin giving Rey her visions? Yoda's return. Aside from visions of the future to come, Rey also experiences a rush of voices and images that are nearly impossible for fans to dissect in the movie theatre. Home video will let fans seek out every detail, but one character from the original trilogy and prequels has been confirmed: Yoda, voiced again by Frank Oz. Although Oz was all too eager to lend his talents for the next chapter of the Star Wars saga, his new lines written in The Force Awakens couldn't match the scenes and dialogue from the previous films. So even if the Little Green Jedi may not make a physical appearance in the movies, he was there when Rey first heard the call of the Force. The voice of the Kenobis. It isn't just Yoda who makes his voice heard in Rey's rush of premonitions and impressions, but the man who trained Anakin Skywalker in the ways of the Force, before hiding his children to save them from the dark side, and eventually fall into Darth Vader's lightsaber. But the most important question is also the most obvious one. Which version of Obi-Wan Kenobi are fans hearing? The answer? Both. Ewan McGregor, who played a younger version of the character made famous by the late Alec Guinness, also returned to the recording booth to inform Rey that these are your first steps. But J.J. Abrams revealed to EW that Guinness is the one who calls out Rey's name. The audio wizards managed to take the name from a recording of Guinness saying the word afraid, with a tone resulting in Obi-Wan calling to Rey in the exact way the director would have hoped. The Daniel Craig cameo. The James Bond star was just one of several actors rumoured for a small part in The Force Awakens, but it's so small a cameo that fans are likely to miss it completely. When Rey is captured by Kylo Ren, he leaves her restrained with a single stormtrooper guard. For no real reason, Rey decides to try her hand at forcing the stormtrooper to do as she commands, an idea which doesn't go smoothly. The stormtrooper is initially stunned, asking her to repeat herself before she finally taps into her true power, and he really does release her. The truly devoted fans of 007 may catch his unique dialect despite only having a line or two, but once you know to look for it, his posture, attitude and walk are hard to miss. Finally, we have lightsaber on ice. The frozen environment of Starkiller Base actually does make sense, along with providing a wintry backdrop for the First Order's blood-chilling goals and actions. Since the base moves through space, things will get pretty chilly when a warming star isn't within range, but that also means the super weapon is the only location where a homage to The Empire Strikes Back can be planted, specifically Luke's encounter with a Wampa on the planet Hoth. It's in a different context, but the shot of Kylo Ren, then Rey attempting to pull Luke's lightsaber from a snowbank, is sure to conjure images of the same act in Episode 5. It's an iconic scene demonstrating that drawing a lightsaber to themselves is one of the first skills a budding Jedi must learn, and Rey pulls it off just as well as Skywalker himself. So guys, that's basically all of the Easter eggs and links to the old films and celebrities that I managed to see while watching The Force Awakens. If you think I've missed any, then obviously do let me know. Drop it in the comment section, smash a like if you've actually enjoyed this video and seen these Easter eggs for yourself. I am sorry to anyone who's continued to watch on through this video when I did give a spoiler warning. There obviously was a lot of spoilers in there, but don't let that ruin the film if you haven't seen it already. It is an amazing film and I do recommend watching it. Subscribe to be kept up to date with all things Star Wars, and may the Force be with you.